Good morning, students. Chapter 6 Chemical Reactions. So, in this chapter, today we are going to learn double displacement reaction, oxidation, reduction, oxidizing and reducing agent, reactivity series of metals and oxides, its formation and its types. Let us discuss one by one. What is double displacement reaction? So, it's a reaction in which two compounds interchange their ions in their aqueous state to form new compounds. So, it is a double displacement reaction. So two compounds in its aqueous state. What is aqueous state? When the compounds are dissolved in water, it forms aqueous state. We know that solid, liquid, gas. Likewise, if a compound is dissolved in water, they are aqueous in nature. So the two compounds in aqueous state will interchange their ions. So that is a double displacement reaction. It is also called as double decomposition reaction because the two compounds will get decomposed and produces two new products. Okay, so double displacement reaction. There are two kinds of double displacement reaction. One is precipitation reaction, another one is neutralization reaction. So what is a precipitation reaction? So it is a double displacement reaction in which one product formed is an insoluble solid, that is precipitate. So when two solutions combine and they produce an insoluble solid. So insoluble solid is separated out from a solution. So that insoluble solid is called as precipitate. So that's why the reaction is called as a precipitation reaction. For example, barium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid and produces barium sulfate, which is an insoluble white color solid. It's separate out from a liquid. And hydrochloric acid is also formed. So a precipitate is formed. So that's why it's a precipitation reaction. And the formation of precipitate is indicated by a downward arrow mark in a chemical equation. So a downward arrow mark is used to show that it is a precipitate. And the second example, silver nitrate reacts with sodium chloride and forms silver chloride and sodium nitrate. So silver chloride precipitates out. It's an insoluble white color solid. It precipitates out during this reaction. So therefore it is also a precipitation reaction. Neutralization reaction. So what is neutralization reaction? When an acid reacts with a base, it forms salt and water. So that is a neutralization reaction. So both acid and base have opposite effects. They got neutralized and forms salt and water. Therefore, it is a neutralization reaction. Copper oxide reacts with dilute sulfuric acid, produces copper sulfate and water. So, copper oxide is a base, sulfuric acid and acid. So, acid and base get neutralized and forms copper sulfate and water. Salt and water is produced. Therefore, it is a neutralization reaction. Sodium hydroxide reacts with hydrochloric acid and produces sodium chloride, the common salt which we are using in our everyday life. And water is also one of the product. So this is also a neutralization reaction. What is oxidation? So oxidation is a reaction which involves the addition of oxygen to a substance or removal of hydrogen from a substance. So that is an oxidation reaction. So during this reaction, oxygen adds to a substance or hydrogen is removed from a substance. Addition of oxygen. So look at the example. So oxygen is added to iron and iron oxide is formed. Oxygen is added to magnesium and magnesium oxide is formed. Oxygen is added to carbon and carbon oxide is formed. Carbon dioxide is formed. Okay. So addition of oxygen, that means oxidation reaction. The removal of hydrogen. So hydrogen is removed from a substance. Sulfuric acid reacts with zinc, produces zinc sulfate and hydrogen. So hydrogen is removed from sulfuric acid. And hydrogen sulfide reacts with oxygen, produces sulfur dioxide and water. So hydrogen is removed from hydrogen sulfide. So oxidation reaction. Now we will discuss reduction reaction. What is a reduction reaction? So the reaction which involves the addition of hydrogen to a substance or removal of oxygen from a substance is called reduction reaction. So oxidation and reductions are just opposite to each other. Oxidation means addition of oxygen. Reduction means removal of oxygen. Oxidation means removal of hydrogen. Reduction means addition of hydrogen. So they are opposite to each other. So hydrogen adds to chlorine, hydrogen chloride is formed. Hydrogen adds to nitrogen and ammonia is formed. So it is a reduction reaction. Removal of oxygen. So copper oxide reacts with carbon, produces copper and carbon dioxide. So oxygen is removed from carbon. And iron oxide. So oxygen is removed from iron and it combines with oxygen. Sorry, combines with carbon. Carbon dioxide is formed. Yes. So in some reactions, both the oxidation and reduction occurs together. Look at the example. Zinc oxide reacts with carbon, produces zinc and carbon monoxide. So zinc oxide turns into zinc. So oxygen is removed from zinc oxide. Therefore, reduction reaction. And carbon turns into carbon monoxide. So oxygen is added to carbon. Therefore, oxidation. So zinc oxide reduced to zinc. Carbon is oxidized to carbon monoxide. So both oxidation and reduction takes place in the same reaction. Okay. What is oxidizing agent? The substance which gives oxygen for oxidation is called an oxidizing agent. Or the substance which removes hydrogen is also called as an oxidizing agent. The reverse is a reducing agent. That means the substance which gives oxygen for reduction is called a reducing agent, and the substance which removes oxygen is called as a reducing agent. Okay, so like oxidation and reduction are opposite to each other. Likewise, oxidizing agent and reducing agents are opposite to each other. In this example, zinc oxide is reduced to zinc. Okay, because oxygen is removed from zinc. So zinc oxide is reduced to zinc, and oxygen is added to carbon. So carbon is oxidized, but the oxygen was supplied by zinc oxide. Therefore, zinc oxide is an oxidizing agent. Okay, clear? Zinc oxide is reduced to zinc and which acts as an oxidizing agent. So the one which is reduced acts as an oxidizing agent and the one which is oxidized acts as a reducing agent. Okay. Okay. Reactivity series of metals. So during the displacement reaction we have discussed a more reactive metal will displace a less reactive metal in its salt solution, as we have discussed. Okay, so all the metals are not in the same reactivity. So there is difference. The reactivity differs between the metals. So some metal reacts more vigorously, and some metals are less reactive in nature. Okay. So based on the difference in their reactivities, the metals are arranged in a vertical column in the order of their decreasing reactivities of the metals. This is known as the reactivity series of metals. So based on the difference in their reactivities, the metals are arranged in an order. That too, they are arranged in the decreasing order. So therefore, the topmost is the most reactive metal, and which is placed in the bottom, which is the least reactive metal. So potassium is the most reactive, and platinum is the least reactive metal. And you know that a more reactive metal will displace a less reactive metal in its solution. And you have seen that hydrogen is placed in the series. You know that hydrogen is a non-metal, yes, but it is placed in the reactivity series of metals. The reason is hydrogen will also lose electron and forms cation like metals. So metals will lose this electron. Metals will lose electron and produces cation. Non-metals will gain electron and produces anion. So like metals, hydrogen also loses electron and forms cation. So that's why it is placed in the reactivity series. Okay. So the metals which are above the hydrogen are more reactive than hydrogen, and which are below the hydrogen are less reactive than hydrogen. Okay. Oxides. What is an oxide? Oxide is a chemical compound. How an oxide is formed? When metals or non-metals or elements combine with oxygen, they produces oxides. When metals combine with oxygen, they produce metal oxide. When non-metal combines with oxygen, they produce non-metal oxides. Calcium and sodium are metal, they produces metal oxides, calcium oxide, sodium oxide. Carbon and nitrogen are non-metals, they produces non-metal oxides, carbon dioxide and nitric oxide. And oxides are formed by thermal decomposition reaction. So either by direct combination, directly they combines with oxygen, or by the decomposition reaction also oxides are formed. Decomposition of salts. So metal salts, metal nitrates, metal carbonates, metal sulfates. So they decomposed and produces oxides. So magnesium nitrate decomposes, produces magnesium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Metal carbonates, calcium carbonate decomposed into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Sulfur, sorry, iron sulfate, ferrous sulfate decomposed into iron oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So oxides are formed by thermal decomposition method also. There are four types of oxides: acidic oxides, basic oxides, amphoteric oxides and neutral oxides. What is an acidic oxide? We know that non-metals combines with oxygen and produces non-metal oxides. So now we want to check the nature of the non-metal oxide, either it is acidic or basic. So with the help of a litmus paper, we can identify the nature of the non-metal oxide. So litmus paper is an indicator. Litmus is an indicator which indicates whether the substance is acidic or basic. So non-metal oxides are taken, sulfur trioxide and carbon dioxide. They are dissolved in water. Sulfur trioxide dissolved in water produces sulfuric acid. Carbon dioxide dissolves in water produces carbonic acid. And both the blue litmus and red litmus papers are dipped in the solution. Here the blue litmus turns into red, which indicates that the oxides are acidic in nature. Therefore, non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. And what about metal oxides? So metal oxides are also dissolved in water and they are tested with the litmus paper. Both the litmus paper are dipped, and here the red litmus turns into blue, which shows that metal oxides are basic in nature. So they are called as basic oxides. What is an amphoteric oxides? They behave both acidic as well as basic in nature. For example, zinc oxide is an amphoteric oxide because when it reacts with a base, they are acidic in nature. When it reacts with an acid, they are basic in nature. So they are tested with a litmus paper. So when zinc oxide reacts with a base, sodium hydroxide, it produces sodium zincate. It turns the blue litmus into red, which shows that they are acidic in nature. And zinc oxide again reacts with the hydrochloric acid, produces zinc chloride, and that solution turns the red litmus into blue. So that means they are basic in nature. Okay, so they both behave. Zinc oxide is both acidic as well as basic in nature, so that's why it is an amphoteric oxide. Neutral oxides. Some oxides are formed, that is, some compounds react with oxygen and they produced neutral oxides. That means they are neither basic nor acidic in nature. For examples, nitric oxide, nitrous oxide, carbon monoxide, water, these are all neutral oxides. They are neither basic nor acidic. So, both the litmus paper have no effect on neutral oxides because they are neutral in nature. So, they are neither basic nor acidic. They do not have any basic or acidic properties. They are neutral in nature. So, that is a neutral oxide. Thank you, students.